Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to Crazy Bowl TV. Thank you very, very so much for being here with us. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. You know what the business is. Please share, subscribe, and like. We need those subscription, guys, and we need those likes. Whether you're gonna watch it after and oh, you're watching it with us right now. Please click the likes, subscribe, even if and don't forget a notification bell. It's very, very important. So you know every single time we are on, you could just be notified right away. Thank you. And of course, I'm here with my resident panel, Mr. Liverpool 12 man. How you doing?
You know how it is. Anytime top of the league, anytime I can say top of the league to all my Reds out there,
Yes,
it's a
sir.
good day. It's a good day.
Thank you. Yes, it is. And of course, we're gonna give big up to Brian, who's in the building. Thank you so much, Brian, for showing up, showing us some love as always, whether he's in this show or at somebody else's channel. He's always showing us some love. Big up to yourself, Brian. And everybody else who's gonna join us in the chat. Like I said, we got Dustin in the building. Thank you, Dustin. Good to see you again. Everybody who's going to watch the show later, like I said, we need to hear from you. Put your comment in there, ask a question, whatever you disagree or agree, please. We want to hear from you. It's very, very important because if you don't say anything, then we're just going to be talking out of, what. So good to see every single one of you guys. And of course, today we're going to talk about Liverpool. Well, Bournemouth AFC versus Liverpool. The match just ran up like over an hour ago. We were at the Vitality Stadium, and that place is not friendly. I mean, I've never seen a whole park or stadium with so high, and still the wind comes in and do tornadoes in the middle of the field. Like I saw the sprinklers were going everywhere else rather than where it's supposed to be pointed.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Today the elements showed up. As much as I'm sure Bournemouth people are friendly people, but those elements in Bournemouth are not friendly. But today, Liverpool, I'm going to big up Liverpool. This is one of the matured game I've seen this season, where we went in and everybody was focused. You could tell from the captain to whoever, they knew this is a game we can draw points. They knew from Jump Street because the way Bournemouth started, Bournemouth was already on our neck. They were on our neck. Any little mistake, they would have capitalized on it. But our guys were focused, no complacency, whatever we want to try worked or not, but they still, if it doesn't work, they come back. If they keep trying and trying again, that word, man, we need to change that mentality monsters. That is not the team anymore. This is not mentality monster. This is, what's the word? Relentless. That's the new word right now. No more mentality monsters. Everybody wants to be a mentality monster. Arsenal's trying to steal it from us. You know how City always does it. They have some, but theirs is a different. I think moving forward, this Club 2.0 is called relentless. Even if you're going to say it in Spanish, which is Relentia or whatever, that's what Liverpool is. And I was very impressed with every single one of them. And even Gomez, I need to shout him out. Even though I wanted to wait to the end of the show, I need to shout him out. Gomez right now is Mr. Reliable. Nothing today he did was super glamorous. However, everything he did was needed. Mr. Reliable. That youngin, Bradley, oh my goodness. I'm also going to say this. Robo and Simicas, y'all need to watch your back because that little kid by the name of Mr. Beck is something. I'm just going to tell people, Owen Beck is the future, y'all.
Wow.
Y'all people talking about, let's go get a left back and this. It's not going to happen. We might get a center back, but we're not going to get a left back because Owen Beck, this kid is something special. Maybe I'm too excited. But if you didn't watch it, go back and watch that 15 minutes cameo that he showed up. That's what I'm going to say. 12 men, you need to jump in because if you let me, I'm just going to be out here talking a whole lot of mess.
Yeah. Look, it's one of those things today where, hey, sometimes you gotta warm up the car before it really like kicks into gear. You know what I mean?
Right.
And on a day like today, where it was not exactly a travel agency guide to to go and visit the English Riviera, as they were calling it, on our side of the pond here. Yeah, it wasn't exactly pretty settings when it came to the rain, the wind, you know, the weather, in the sense of like how cold it was. You know, sometimes it is what it is. But hey, my biggest gripe, we won 4-0. My biggest gripe, I know people are getting tired of hearing about it. Biggest gripe, sometimes people don't even want to talk about it. But Bun, the PGMOL.
Oh, we're gonna have time for them.
Not a red card.
Bruh.
It was not a foul in the box.
We're gonna have a lot of conversation with them, folks. Just you keep going. You keep going. Don't let me. Because if you let me,
it's beyond conspiracy now,
bro.
It's beyond conspiracy. It's just bad. It's just to the point where it's just bad. I heard Drifty say something like he would want to have AI, you know, refereeing. Hey, I'm almost to the point where I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, you know, we are getting there. We are definitely getting there, because that was that challenge on Diaz was that could have been another injury to the long list of injuries you already have, and for it not even to get a card, I understand you can't go to VAR and get a yellow card from VAR. I get that, but for them to not even say, hey, maybe we should have a look at it. Just to remind you, just to remind the referee of how poor and how pathetic he is performing today. Like, that is just absolutely pathetic. That was not a card. It was pathetic that the challenge on I believe it was Beck in the box when he got tripped up. You could actually see him get like you could literally see the guy clip his foot. Foul. It's pathetic nowadays. It's almost to the point where it's like almost like, where are we going to go from here? But they got 4-0. You know, can't ask.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. I see that you're back. You were running through Oxford.
No, I'm not back.
Good to see you.
I'm not back. I've just had my dinner. I'm going to do it from here because.
Don't let them. If the missus come and beat you up, man, we're going to support her.
I've already got permission.
Okay. Yeah, because if she come in and start throwing bowls, man, I'm helping her. I'm just saying. But I'm sure you were watching the game somehow, some way. What's your quick synopsis about the game right now?
Okay, so I went on N's channel.
Before you start, please. Jen is dropping some news right now. I haven't heard of this. But apparently, Salah will be returning to Liverpool for treatment and go back to Ivory Coast if they make it further, because he's out for 2 games. So that's okay. That's some good news. That's not too bad. I mean, we will talk about the injuries because we saw what's name Curtis also holding the same thing. But please go ahead.
I mean, for that one, I hope we spend 2 weeks persuading him to stay.
No, tell baby to score another cracker from the halfway line, and then Egypt to go home, because if they lose against Cape Verde, it's over.
So I went on Enz's show just after the match, and I haven't heard everything that the 12th man said, but I heard a little bit, and big up. You already know how I feel about referees and officials this year, but my biggest issue now is it's the players having intent to injure our players and not being punished. Like, if you can injure our players in games and not be punished, then more players are going to do it. And I'm starting to notice more players are doing it. And if that's a tactic that works, then you do that. Like so many teams in the past have done it. Like, do you remember Wimbledon with Vinnie Jones? Like they won cups because they played like that. They roughed the opposition up. For me, they brought a player on, and that player basically just went around kicking all our players in the air, and he wasn't punished for it.
No.
And if you're going to get away with that, and if you're going to now get commentators, by the way, and this isn't just refereeing, this is across the board. This is media. This is the newspapers. This is everybody talking about football to do with Liverpool. Oh, well, if he'd have broke his leg, then that would have been a red card. Is that what it takes? Is that what it takes now? It actually takes a leg breaker to get a yellow card or a red card against Liverpool. Because that's what it's going to take. And I'm just wondering which player that's going to have to happen with. And if you can sit here and say, oh, well, he made a meal of it. He rolled around on the floor about 5 times. And as soon as I seen it, I was like, something bad's happened here. Because Luis Diaz does not roll around on the floor. Luis Diaz is not a diver. Luis Diaz has had 2 horrific injuries in the last 2 years. So when he goes down, he's going down for a reason. And for that to not even warrant a foul or a yellow card is beyond me. And guess who was VAR? Guess who was VAR?
The clown.
Mate, Paul Tierney. So you got Paul Tierney as VAR, and nothing got looked at. We didn't even get a penalty when it was a penalty. Jota got fouled in the box.
That was Jota.
It's a penalty. It's just a penalty.
Beck also got fouled in the box.
Beck got fouled too.
What's that?
Beck also got fouled into the box.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah, Beck got bloody assaulted on the touchline at one stage. I mean, and it's not going to get any. It's not going to get any easier because you know who we have as our referee in the next game. We have the Spurs referee for the next game. When is it going to take somebody to turn around and say, "We're not having these referees. We are not going to come out on the pitch and play when these referees are reffing our games." When we have Turney, we have Brooks, we have all of those soft asses who are just rinsing us every single game and letting our players get bad fouls, not giving decisions, and Klopp basically getting more and more agitated and angry about stuff. When is it going to take the fact that we just don't come out? We just don't play football for these people because that's what it's going to take. And for me, it's just a joke. It's an absolute joke now. And if you don't think Man City are paying off referees, then you're blind because they've got 115 charges. You don't think one of them's for bribery?
Man.
I've had my say on that, okay? And then we'll move on.
Big up to Redbird, man. Hope you feel well. Get yourself some lime, some ginger, some honey, pure honey. Make it into a tea and drink that thing, man. It will knock all that thing out of yourself, man.
But just
man. Get back, bro. If we start with referees, we won't finish this show. But
no,
we will get there.
I'm done talking about the refs.
Okay, let's just go on. The defense, 12 men. What do you think about Bradley, Konate? Konate, if an Arsenal fan ever say, focus, Archie. Konate, Virgil, and then Mr. Reliable, Gomez. What do you think about the back four?
I thought that they played well. Obviously, I mean, anytime you get a clean sheet, you got to give props up to the defense. Anytime you get a clean sheet, you got to give props up to the goalkeeper. I think that there was a lot to be put on this. Having Bradley play right back for us was, having a youth player play in a position where normally we have one of the best players in the world play. It's going to put a lot of pressure on that young lad, and and he did well to step up, and he did well to play within his own means and not get intimidated by the circumstance or the platform. and certainly not to get intimidated by the other players that were really by the opposition that was really trying to press his buttons. It's like really pushing him and going overboard. And again, I know we're not talking about refs anymore, but I mean, like, he gets a yellow card for like a foul that, is a foul, but you can give a foul, but you can't, but I wouldn't have given it a yellow considering what you let go as not even being a card, much less a stern discussion. And yet, like, here we are. So they battled and played through a lot. And I think the defense played well. Definitely played well.
What do you say? What do you think, K-Mike? Are you back?
I think I gotta go.
Okay. Well, with me, Liverpool, like I was saying earlier, the defense was focused. They knew, you could tell, they know that this place could be our bogey. It's been our bogey side. I mean, you beat Man U 7-0 and then you go lose 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they were ready, knowing that, hey, if we are not on our P's and Q's, things can go real bad, real fast. So the way Bournemouth started the game, they started also on our neck. They started very well. They were trying to create a lot of problems so that we can make mistakes. My Gavard is getting beat up. Yeah, step on his neck. Step on his neck. But people have to respect Bournemouth because Bournemouth is the number one team on form right now. The entire league. They're number one, we number two. So I understand how they came out. But our defense was focused. For a kid of Bradley to go to a ground like that and don't get shaken up and stay focused I didn't see any mistakes that he did. He was playing grown-up football. It took him, Elliot, and Diaz a few minutes, about 15 minutes, for them to understand each other to see how they're gonna act up on the right side. And we have to understand this team is, where's the black eye, man? This team is still figuring each other out. Hey, big up to you, LFC 10. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, man. Thank you. Join the family. Have fun. We appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So the defense, the defense is, I was not worried. That was the thing. I wasn't worried. Even the first 5 minutes, I was, okay, guys, get it together. But after a while, when everybody settled down, I was like, yo, we good. We good. The midfield. If anybody, at this point, we all need to stop questioning Klopp because he has just created a brand new Thiago, and his name is called McAllister. That sixth position, the way McAllister played, the position was just. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen him. This guy is controlling the middle, like he is. What should I say? Like he has the two center backs so comfortable nowadays. When he gets the ball, you could see why Klopp wants him there because he's so resistant, press resistant. So right now, I mean, this team is gonna just get better because when Endo comes back, he will have to fight and break some jaws to get back into this team. Thiago might not even get a chance to play before he leaves, or if he stays towards the whole summer. Guys, get the subs, get the likes up, man. Get the likes up. Thank you, LFC 10. We appreciate you. The midfield, Jones. Oh my God, Jones was just beautiful. Elliot, it took him time, but Elliot figured it out. He knew the way he wanted to play wasn't working, so he has to figure a way to make it happen, and it did. So with the three in the middle, I didn't have any qualm. Maybe I would have started Gravenberg, but I think Elliot starting was a good call. So what do you think, Mike, the midfield?
Well, can I just touch on the defense? I pressed the standby button by accident on my wife's dad's computer and I turned it off.
Oh, okay.
I needed his password to get back in.
Yeah.
And my fish pie was good, by the way. Redbird. Okay, so we've got the second best central defender in the league now, behind Virgil van Dijk, and it's Konate. Like, this guy is absolutely imperious. Like, he's like going around bumping his chest. Like, he's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And it's reminding me of the 2019 team where you've got Matip and a Virgil just being monsters. Like, it you know, you've got Konate doing defense splitting passes. Like, when did he start doing that?
He was paying attention when Matip was playing.
Like,
and that's the thing. We got players. The midfield club is still going to do
it's naughty. Like,
I'm going to break you down through the middle.
Like, and we also need to talk about Conor Bradley as well. By the way, I think.
Hey, big up to real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike. Let me big up my man Isaac. Isaac, you need to. I'm going to send you the link. He's an Arsenal fan. He's a Gooner. We need to get you back in here. So I'm going to send a link. Brian is in the building, so you don't have to be afraid. We're not going to attack you. You know, last time we welcomed you very well. But big up to yourself, Isaac. Okay, Mike, continue.
So I think we may have got ourselves an Andy Robinson regen in Conor Bradley. Like, everything about this kid reminds me of when Robbo broke into the first team.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing everything. And anyone who's saying he needs to go and bulk up in the gym, no, he doesn't. He's wiry. He's strong. I think he got 12 yellow cards last season. Bolton. So we know he's not messing around. And that kind of frees up Trent then. You know, Trent can then
Trent, take your time, man.
That midfield position his own. Like, why not? And we need to talk about Joey Gomez. Like, seriously, that assist.
I talked about him.
Like, did you see that cross?
Bro, Mr. Reliable.
What? And that was from the right. Joey Gomez, what a player he's been this season. Left,
that
right,
comment
center.
right there. That comment right there. I said it. Don't copyright it, Rasta Crab. I said it. Konate has been watching Matip play. Because the runs, the ball control, the passes that he's doing. Even today, he had a cross from one side to the other, which it touched Nunes' foot, and he put it down perfect. 12 man, you want to jump into the midfield? Because
can I also mention something else?
Yeah, finish. Yes, I apologize.
I want to mention something else. A really big factor in the way we are playing is the competition. Players know the Klopp isn't scared to play players now. Like if you're not on your game, you'll get hooked. Like, you know, if you're not 100% and you're not committed, you know, you pull out a tackle or you just don't look like you're in a game, he'll take you off. And he's not scared to play those players now, those reserve players that we've always cried out. Why doesn't he play someone now? Like, you know, the game's done and dusted. Like, you don't need to leave him on.
Yeah,
he's starting to make those subs. Like, he took 4 players off and brought 4 kids on. Like, okay, maybe they didn't really get a touch of the ball. Who cares? We gave the other guys 15 minutes, and we maybe prevented some of them getting kicked around by that asshole who came on.
Man. 12 man, jump in there. You get the midfield. What do you say?
I'd like to say big up to our Kaiser, Jorgen. Apparently he does watch. Yeah. Apparently he does get my text messages, I guess. And
I think he's watching your videos, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
That 6-hour marathon that you did,
especially that 6-hour one.
Man, I went to bed, woke up. This guy was still on the show.
Still on there talking. I know. I
thought it was a replay.
And then he was a guest on another show.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, you know why I'm saying that's because, like, I remember. Look, it was like if you haven't picked up the clues or the cues, I should say, from this year with this team can just builds momentum. It consistently builds momentum to the point where it's a breaking point for opposition where they just can't handle it any longer, you know?
Right.
And it's like almost like you guys, I know in England, you like your tea, you know, it's like a teapot, you know, it's just, it's like boiling until you hear that whistle blow, and that's what the squad is like. The first half. Obviously, we didn't get any results that we wanted out of the first half, but whatever he says, whatever Klopp is saying in the locker room, whatever the mentality that these players go into the second half, knowing that tactically the coach is going to put them in better positions to really attack what we have to do, and also the sheer fact that so many players, just as you mentioned earlier, K-Mac and you, Quasi, both mentioned about these youngsters, about stepping up in positions where, often they'll be targeted, or often they'll be the ones that say, oh, well, that was the weak point, but these when you're playing and when you're going to practice every day and you're looking around you, and I know Salah's not there with them right this moment, but you're looking around you and you got incredible world-class legends and up and coming stars around you, generational talent. When you're looking around you and you see that, it makes you rise to the occasion too. You for that moment could yeah, look at me. I deserve to be here. I'm meant to be here. And you get past the butterflies, you get past all the dumb stuff, you get on the pitch and you show and prove, because you don't want to let your teammates down. Having that kind of mentality is important, and that's something that you see in this club. They got each other's back. It's that Allison mentality that we spoke of often in that interview, that this team knows that they are a collective and that they will only win if they win together. And that's what happens when they go into that pitch.
No, I agree. At this point, you could tell they have a mission, right? They know that this is the fun part. They got some young kids who are hungry.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to play. Nobody wants to give too much respect for whoever is in front of them. That's why I'm telling you guys, we will talk more about some of the youngsters that came in. But I'm telling you, Klopp is going to have a very hard time buying new players. And next season in the summer, we may get maybe 2, maybe 3 max, because we will lose some senior players. But the thing that we have to give props to Klopp is he find a way to do rotation, something that we've been begging for him in his previous club 1.0. But moving forward with the front three. First half, I felt like they were rushing. They were like trying to make it happen instead of calming down, because we get to the final third and then we fluff our lines. Like
Jota was too deep. That was the problem.
Yes, he was a couple of times. He was way too deep. Nunes, I think Diaz was finding it way too hard to play on the right side, so he kept finding himself. Sometimes he was at left back at one point. I'm like, bro, what are you doing over there?
Nunes was isolated.
And Nunes was not getting enough of the ball.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it looked like we have no creativity, but Bournemouth, you have to give shout out to Bournemouth, because they were pressing us so high. They were playing a high line. These guys were not scared. So we have to give a big shout out to how Bournemouth played. Usually teams will just sit back and say, Liverpool, break us down. They didn't. They actually came at us. When they get the ball, they will try to launch it over our defenders back. How are you going to outrun Virgil and Konate? But the front three in the second half, they started to gel. And then the introduction of Gakpo and K-Mac's favorite player, Gravenberch.
Gakpo was good.
Gakpo, like the touches, the pass that he gave was
a good shift.
Yeah, go ahead, 12 man.
He never went in for a 50-50. I watched him pull out about 3 times. Like the issue I've got now, or the issue he's got, is we're going to have loads of midfielders soon, and
that's why
he's going to struggle to get in the team. He's going to struggle to get off the bench in some games. Like I've got to go in a bit, okay, guys, because I've got to drive back home. So I'll just do a little bit of stats and that before I go. Okay. So Bournemouth, number 1 informed team in the Premier League right now. Well, they were. They won. They won 6 out of 8, I think.
Yep.
In the last games, and they've been on fire, and they've been scoring more than 2 goals. Like, we literally turned up, took the pressure for the first half, because there was a lot of pressure, and they came out like they were a team that was in form. Like they thought they could win.
And they played like they wanted to win.
They played like they were going to beat us. And I don't remember them having a shot. Do you remember them having a shot on the goal? It's like there was a force field.
Yeah.
The ball was like going into the 6-yard box, and it just wouldn't go near the goal. It was weird.
Right.
And Ali ended up doing like some mad shimmies and dummies to like put their players off.
Ali didn't have much to do today. I mean,
crazy stuff. And I mean, we all know why we sold Dominic Solanke. He kind of showed it today. Like, you know.
Yeah. But before you go, K-Mac, before you leave, we need to answer this question, because this has also have something that I saw on Twitter today. Somebody posted on Twitter and said, we need to listen to what Klopp tell these guys in the second half at the halftime, because whatever he tells them at halftime, he needs to tell them in the first half so they could start that way, right? But when Curtis went down,
the thing I've got about that, the thing I'll say about that is we aren't conceding goals again. Like, we've stopped conceding goals now first. Like, that seems to be something we're getting a grip of. And maybe that is because we are maybe soaking up a bit more pressure and making the game scruffy and dirty and playing the long ball. You know, that's kind of what we've asked about. Like, we've said, instead of us being half asleep or trying to win the game in the first 10 minutes, which we're
working our way towards the match.
We're working our way into the match, and that's what we did today. But I just wanted to talk about Jota for a sec, though. I mean, Nunes was great today, by the way. 2 brilliant finishes. Didn't have to think about anything. Wasn't given any time, which is perfect for him, which is also kind of what Luis Suarez was really good at. Like, remember when we first got him, he was terrible in front of goal. And then when
all over the place,
finishes, he got his confidence, and then he started doing more. I think Nunes might do the same.
Yeah.
But Jota, 21 shots this season, 11 on target, 7 goals. Serious. Like, we've got an absolute assassin in front of goal in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
And if he stays fit, I think we can win the lot.
No, I mean, if Nunes is going to score the goals, we're going to win a lot. Because the 2 goals Nunes scored today was, I mean, that's something that he's been doing. This is the thing that I don't literally get so upset.
Training. You know, he does that in training every day.
Yeah, that's why I don't get really upset at Nunes, because his shots are literally in the frame. He literally, all his chances that he misses goes into the goalie. It's like the goalie makes a super save all of a sudden when it's Nunes, right? That tells me that it's coming. He just have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and, you know, and do it well. Shout out to LL Cool J. You know, if he starts scoring the goals he scored, like the first goal he scored, if he does it over and over and over every single game, I'm telling you, Liverpool win this league. Because that's the last time we had the debate. I was saying to you guys, we create so many chances for us to score enough goals to win games. If we keep doing that, teams are gonna be scared to come at it. That means the defense is gonna be solidified.
Do you also notice as well, though, with Nunes, like those 2 goals he scored, he drifted from the left in.
Yeah, and then came into the middle.
So it overloads. It overloads the middle of the park for them. Yeah. So they're dragging all their players in with him, or they haven't followed him in, and we've got an overload where we've got Jota, we've got maybe an attacking midfielder, maybe a Jones has gone in there, or maybe a Gakpo's gone in there, and then we've got Nunes just free. Like, there's going to be a lot more of those chances. We just need him to score those chances, because he's going to get so many of those free chances where the ball is played to him and he's one-on-one. And long may it continue. I've got to go, guys, all right, because we've got a long drive.
Man, big up to yourself, man. Big up to the wifey allowing you to show it up. Send the chocolate and flowers.
I'll let her know. Big up, guys. Big up the chat and up the Reds.
Yes, sir. 12 man, you take over, man. Like I said, the question about Liverpool resting and then second half go at it. Actually, I think there's a new thing going on right now. If you feel something, go down, we will salve you up. Right? Jones, yes, it was fatigue, hamstring. I don't think it's a tear, it's probably a pull. because he went down exactly the same thing Salah did.
Is a strain the same thing as a pull hamstring?
Yeah, strain and a pull are the same thing. Yeah, a pull and a strain. When it's a tear, that's when it becomes elongated problem. But I believe the medical department and I've told club, if these players feel something, they need to go down. You need to get them off the field. And that's exactly what Salah did. Salah could have played on if he wanted to. But then he's like, nah, the temperature, the game, the pressure.
Right.
I'm going to go down. And then even the coach is like, yeah, let him sit down. That's why now we're hearing that he will come for treatment. And then eventually, if they do well, Cape Verde, baby, please do us a favor. And then he goes back.
At least Egypt is recognizing the fact that, national facilities, normally national teams have, they have good doctors, they have good facilities in themselves on their own. But yet they understand that these teams have more invested in these players than even the national team have invested in them. So when it comes to getting state-of-the-art style treatments and everything else, you're definitely going to find it more so at the clubs than you do at the international facilities. Again, this isn't a knock at international facilities saying they don't have, the capabilities of handling it. It's more so, you're going to get more individual attention and have the facilities that are properly, adjusted to what you need for getting these players back. And if there's anything we've learned with Liverpool, especially, is dealing with hamstring injuries and quads and all, and everything else. Like, you're going to have have that be done. But like, I can understand your points about, there's a lot of things that we saw this team do, and there's a lot of things that we understand. I think a lot more of us are starting to comprehend what it is that is the winning not only mentality but the winning recipe for this club, which is like the whole like next man up concept. I've been saying that from the very beginning. I'm like, I get that injuries are going to happen. We've just again had another year of harsh and extremely debilitating injuries to some players, but we've always had that next guy up mentality to say, hey,
that's the key.
Step up and take this opportunity to not let our teammates down, and also possibly create an opportunity for ourselves. Being the player concept or mentality is, you create opportunities for yourself. And a lot of times with the youth players, for instance, a lot of these players are looking again around this pitch and they're seeing Curtis Jones being a pretty much almost like a cemented in starter. They're seeing Harvey Elliott as a starter, occasional starter, definitely a super sub, one of the first selections off the bench. If you're seeing those things and knowing that you've played with these players, possibly a year or two, maybe 3 years ago or something on those lines, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm here at this stage now, I have a pathway towards being that same player. And it makes a difference when you understand the fact that there is a pathway to getting playing time. Just play hard, commit to dedication, hard work, and success will follow. And that's what the mentality has. And it's definitely rooted in these players, and I enjoy seeing the development of all these players.
No, that's so true, because this time Klopp has basically told everybody, if you play well and you train hard, I will give you the access. And they have the access. Back in the day, he won't. He would do it one at a time because he didn't want to break a younger player's confidence if it doesn't work out, right?
Right.
But this time it's like, as you see it, it's right there. Open, you have the chance. If you don't get, at this point, if any of the young players don't take their chance, it's on you, because the man has he has the bridge wide open. You have to take it, And I know during the summer we did had a show about the concerns about our academy. We had big up to G and yourself, and I think Baz, big up to Baz. Right now, Liverpool's academy is time. Maybe they listen to me, because these kids are coming and they're doing well. As a matter of fact, this whole January, Liverpool have called all their players, all their loan academy players back, except with William where they've sent him back again. But let's answer this. Brian, big up to yourself, man, joining you. Please, Brian, answer this question for John Summers. Big up to John. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, man. Don't forget to subscribe, man. Please subscribe. Hi, guys. Do you think Xabi Alonso will win the league in Germany? I think he will. The way he's going, man, this guy is something. And I need him to do it one more time and then maybe go to Madrid and do it again. And when club leaves, then he can take over. What says you, Brian?
Yeah, well, first of all, good evening, hello, and I hope everyone's well and brilliant and happy after today. And keeping well, and everyone's family is good. So John, yeah, I actually watched because YouTube now they show all the German games, most of them. They show them all live for free on YouTube. And today, that was the Bayern at home against Werder Bremen was the game that was on just before Liverpool was kicking off. And I watched most of that. And now they're 7 points behind with a game in hand. But you're looking at a team that to me was, they were kind of unlucky. They've got some fabulous players. That young kid, Jonathan Tell, who came on. Wow, what a player! He looked like he was such a player, man. They cutting in off the wing and all that. But maybe it's I was joking about it earlier on, but I mean Harry Kane goes to Bayern to kind of say, right, I'll guarantee myself a league title here, and guess what? It's all going down the pan. And now they're bringing in Eric Dyer, and they're talking about Tuchel wanting to bring in Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
It's all very, very strange. Like I was joking with someone the other day, can't get in the Tottenham team, but guess what? You get a phone call from Bayern saying Bayern wants you. Right? Okay. What world is that? Okay, that's football. That's how crazy. But I was saying it would make sense to me if he was Pochettino. If it was Pochettino, so I've worked with Dyer before, I've worked with Kane before. But it's not. It's Thomas Tuchel. So it doesn't really look, like Bayer Leverkusen are unbeaten. So I'm with you. Obviously, like I've said this. Anybody that knows me for more than a few years, they'll know that Xabi Alonso is he's my favorite Liverpool player of all time. Not the one I think is the best or the greatest rollout. He's just my favorite player. And I've been keeping an eye on how he's going, and he just looks the part. He sounds the part. He's obviously the real deal on the pitch. So for me, it's always been earmarked. Okay, he has an eye on Liverpool. We can't deny that. He must. He's going to want to manage Bayern. He's going to want to manage Real Madrid, and he's going to want to manage Liverpool. So if we can work it out nicely, where, like you said, Klopp leaves in year X, and Alonso is free in year X, and he can have a couple of years somewhere, and then he can come into Liverpool job. Perfect. That's what I love. Now, football rarely works out the way we want it to, but he will. I would, as much as you can kind of guarantee something like this, I could think we could almost guarantee that he will manage Liverpool at some point. So I don't think it'll take too long, but I'm with you, man. I just want him, let him go and do a few years somewhere else, and then come and do like a really solid, like 7 years at Liverpool. Not just come to Anfield for 2 years and then go. I don't want him to come to Liverpool and then go to Madrid. Go and do your Madrid thing first. If it just means going there for 2 years, do your Madrid thing, and then come and do like a proper like legacy job at Liverpool. 6, 7, 8 years, because he's really young, like.
He's
25 years left in him in top level management.
He just started. This is literally his second year, right?
Yeah, he's got some experience there with they all do with like the underage teams and all that. But I mean, you can't deny what he's doing, and if he's, I mean, he was always probably the most intelligent player on any football team that he was on, and he's been through 3 of the biggest clubs in the world, worked for most of the best managers in the last 20 years, seen it all, done it all. has the chops for it, come in straight away. I mean, I don't think he's a flash in the pan. I don't think he's a Villas Boas or anything. I think
he's not gonna do that.
But he'll pick the right jobs at the right time.
Yeah.
I don't think he's stupid.
That's why he's not going to Madrid. He's not. He already told them he's not. He's gonna wait maybe one more year. But he wants to play Champions League. He wants to see how he competes with, But I'm gonna raise people's pulses right now. We're gonna talk a little bit about the red card that didn't happen, the penalties that didn't happen, the fouls that didn't. These guys were literally kicking the players, trying to like they were trying to frustrate us, and we kept calm and collected. But number one, tomorrow I'm expecting an apology from Mr. Howard Webb about the red card, because if you put those pictures together, it's identical to what supposedly Curtis Jones did at Spurs. He stepped on even the commentator on my side was doing his best, trying to make it seem like, it wasn't a foul. And then the more they show it, then it's like, yeah, it is a forceful injury. He could have broken his leg, and then at least give us foul. The reason why the VAR looked at it and said, no, keep going. They didn't even say, hey, ref, you need to go watch this on the screen, like they did with Curtis at Spurs. Right? So I'm trying to figure out at what point this is not conspiracy anymore. It's just an outright, we gonna try our best to cheat this guy so that we give the momentum to another team. They've been trying all season. They started with red cards. So I just want to know. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who say, we don't believe this, they're trying to cheat us, they don't try to cheat. Yeah, that's how a lot of people were believing until Juventus got busted for literally cheating the whole league for X amount of time. So they had to get relegated. I'm not going to pinpoint and say City is the one cheating or somebody cheating, but there's some cheating going in the background somewhere. Because at this point, you can't tell me this is not a Carabao Cup where there's no VAR. We got VAR where there's an actual ref watching the game and saw the stamp, and that ref is telling me that is not a career-ending breaking injury. Whether you mean it or not, I don't know what your feelings are. That is not how the game is reffed. The penalties, we could talk all about it. It could be subjective, whatever you want. But the stamp. So my question is, at this point, is it conspiracy still, or is it an actual blindly, we going to try to slow these guys down so that another team wins? I'm not saying they're trying to cheat for City or they're trying to cheat for us. Maybe they're even trying to cheat for Man United. Liverpool fans have been saying this, and everybody always, come on, it's not conspiracy. There's no any attempt on purposely trying to get Liverpool to lose the league or whatever. But at this time, what else do you want us to say? And this is the reason why I tell people, do not blame Klopp, because Klopp talks about it. Klopp has to protect his players. That's why he talks about it. If something was being done, he won't be whining and being bitchy or whatever you want to call it. But the fact that the VAR didn't even look at it, they didn't even look at it. They didn't even show a replay until the commentators started talking about it. Then they showed the replay. Even the commentator was like, wow, not even a foul. And the fact that Liverpool players had the ball, they didn't kick the ball. They played at least for like 45 seconds, and then eventually Virgil kicked the ball out.
Yeah.
It's not like, they had the ball. So we had the ball and we kept the ball and we didn't do anything. And then Virgil said, okay, this guy's injured. He's not getting up. So at this point, when is it conspiracy? When is it somebody is actually making an attempt to cheat us? 12 men, you go ahead. Kismet, send me Kismet, send me a message on X because I don't have you on there.
Yeah.
And also, let me give a big shout out to Frank. Frank is a big Chelsea fan. How's the $1 billion team doing, Frank? Yes, you're right. Even a Chelsea fan is surprised about no card or warning, nothing. It's ridiculous right now. At this point, I don't know. Somebody say something, man. Big up to you, Frank.
You know, the more we talk about it, I understand the more people are going to say, oh, that's just Liverpool fans just whining about calls. That's just Liverpool fans playing the victim. That's just Liverpool fans, you know, doing their, like, you know, whatever. It's a bunch of, like, it's to the point where, you know, what's funny is that, like, even no one really properly respects the players or our coach. And what I can say for that is, like, it was funny. I saw on the sideline, there was an incident where the fourth referee had to bring Klopp and one of, you know, Bournemouth's assistants to face to tell him to cut it out, calm it down, stop the antics between the two of them. And it's because, you know, I think despite what people say about Klopp running his mouth, as Craig Burley would say, or, you know, or Shaka or any of those guys, you know, even Stevie Nichols, you know, says it every once in a while. Like, someone has to stand up for his players. Someone's going to have to stand up and make sure that this is not acceptable. And that's what Klopp knows that he has to do. He'll play the bad guy. He'll play the person that has to take, you know, the brunt of all the, like, you know, online criticism or the pundits' criticisms and everything else. But if you go, there's a long list. And I don't mean like, oh, well, that was a questionable 50-50, or maybe it could have went this way, maybe could have went that way. No, we've had a long laundry list of excuses, apologies, and that's just in one campaign of a year. I'm not talking about the other years that we've had to deal with what we had to deal with. Every team I get has bad calls against them and everything else. But it's to the point where when do you just say, stop apologizing and be better? Stop apologizing and be better. That's all we're asking for. And if anything, it's a steady decline, a steady descent in just not performing. And I mean, for the referees, not doing true duty and holding the game balanced. You don't want injuries to happen. I don't want injuries to happen. But if a referee allows for those kinds of tackles to go uncharged and unbooked, guess what? They're going to continue to happen. They're going to. It's almost as if it's a referee saying, "Yes, it's okay for you to do this," you know, and that's unacceptable. That's totally unacceptable. You know, what's it going to take? Like a referee getting tackled that way to understand that that's not a clean tackle. You know what I mean? Like, it's to the point when eventually you have to call it for what it is. And it's just poor officiating. And for anyone to just say, oh, it's okay for you to apologize afterwards. No, be better next time. Just be better. That's how I look at it when it comes to
No, I mean, at this point, bro, it's okay. The penalty, that's why I'm not talking about the penalty, because that one is subjective, right? We could argue until we turn it.
For which one? The Diaz?
Both of them.
Diaz is not subjective. That is
no. I'm talking about if.
But the point is that it wasn't even okay, first off, I understand VAR cannot tell the referee to go look and say this is a yellow card. Okay.
No. But this is the thing, 12 man. Remember when we played Crystal Palace, right?
Right.
The ref said, I'm gonna go look for myself. It's not VAR who told him to go look. He made the conscious decision, I will go look for myself just to make sure what you guys are telling me is correct, because I saw this and what? It looks like it's a penalty kick, right?
Right.
Like I said, the penalties that wasn't called Becks and Jotas. That's subjective. We can argue. But the one with Diaz, and you have VAR, where VAR said, look at this thing, this guy stepped him on the shin, on the upper side of the ankle, which is a breaking foot area. And you telling me that VAR could not tell the ref, hey, you missed this thing, because the ref missed it. Right? The ref missed it. So VAR is supposed to be like, hey, my friend, you need to go look at this thing, man, because you missed a call here. And then if the ref looks at it and comes back and say, you know what, there's nothing into it, cool. But VAR looked at it and they claim that this is not a breakable, foot breakable offense. And they let the game continue.
Right. Leg break.
And then there was, what do you call it? Our medical team came on the field, which gives VAR ample time to say, hey, ref, you may want to go look at this. We might have made a mistake here. You need to go look at this. That's the reason why Klopp was losing his damn mind. And Klopp was being so vigilant, or whatever the word is, that if it was any other time, they would have caught him.
But you know what, too, though, is that I don't think that I don't even know if VAR looked at it. Look,
they did, and they said nothing. They told him nothing to look at.
The commentators have a link to the actual feed that they hear the conversation being had with VAR. Okay, so the commentators I didn't hear the commentators say, oh, well, this has been looked over and it's been deemed, play on or whatever. There wasn't anything being said like that. And the commentators will be quick to say those kinds of things because
and that's what I'm saying.
When you have Diaz rolling around as if he's gotten as if his leg was broken.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're gonna expect someone to say, okay, well, what happened? And the sheer fact that no one said from VAR to the official to say, hey, just have a look at it. I don't care if it ends up being you going and taking a look at it because you missed it obviously the first time. That is 5. He didn't even call a foul on that. Okay, does he different if you or excuse me, a card on that? It'd be different if he pulled a yellow card out initially, or just to give him some type of stern talking. No, that play continued to play on for a bit. So that means that the referee saw it, didn't deem it as being a foul, much less a card offense, and then VAR said, you know what? Yes,
we agree with you.
We're going to back the referee because we don't want to put him out there to say, get your SHIT together.
But that's my point.
That's exactly what happened.
And that's exactly my point. The VAR's position is to review everything that is going that seems like the ref have missed. And then they make a recommendation to the ref and say, hey, you may want to look at this. Right. That's what VAR is there for. Right? You may want to look at
the yellow card thing. They're going to hide behind
no, he didn't give him a yellow
card in their mind, so it's not.
No, he didn't even give him a yellow card. It wasn't even a foul to give him a yellow card. You see what I mean, Tolman and Brian? You could jump on this now. This thing, the commentator at first was trying to brush it off like, oh, it's not that bad, and then he asked 2 questions. Is it did he step on his foot to a point where there's so much enough force? Yes. Was it an injury breakable offense? Yes. Then the second commentator was like, wow, he didn't even give a foul. And right there, VAR was like, check complete, gone. Because we have to remember, regardless whether we hear it or we see it, they're still checking. They don't have to tell us that they're checking for us to know that there's a check going on. They're checking regardless of what's going on. They're checking. Remember, that's why I bring back the Crystal Palace game. The game went on for 5 minutes and then they brought it back for a penalty kick. So regardless of what we're thinking, they're still checking. At one point, somebody should have said, hey, ref, hold off. Go look this on the screen. And if you keep the same call, then it's on you. They didn't even give him a recommendation. This is where I'm losing my damn mind that they didn't even say, bro, go look at it. And I promise you tomorrow, Mr. Howard Webb is going to show up and say exactly what he did with the Odegaard thing, which they purposely waited 2 weeks. You can't tell me it takes 2 weeks for you to tell us that it was a penalty kick. You already knew it was a penalty kick from day one. You see what I mean? So,
It
Brian,
does.
yeah, go ahead.
It does take 2 weeks. I'm sorry, Brian. I'll let you. I know Brian wants to chime in, but I was gonna say real quick. It does take 2 weeks for it to happen. It does take 3 weeks, whatever. How many weeks it takes? You know why it takes that long? Because then the fur, you know, the anger about it has dissipated. Then it's easier for you to just like say, oh yeah, we messed up. Let's move on. You know. But if you address it immediately and you say, oh, well, we messed up, that's when everyone is already on Twitter and socials and all that crap, you know, typing about it and getting angry, you know, and on their podcast, making big things about it. That's when the fever pitch is at its highest. And yeah, you're not going to do that. You're going to wait until 2-3 weeks when people have almost forgotten. They've moved on. And now it's easier to like kind of push the apology in front of you and hope that you accept it, and then you can just, you know, pretend like it never happened. It's tired, it's sad, it's pathetic, and it needs addressing. And considering that Howard Webb is one of the quote unquote better referees, you know, if that it starts with the top. And I mean, if he's allowing for this kind of conduct and this kind of play, this kind of like performances by the referees, then yeah, you need to address it immediately. I mean, maybe he needs to get addressed.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, it's the conversation has moved on so much since the original kind of thought. Where I would just chime in and say, I don't believe in conspiracy. I go right up to that line, but I don't believe, because if you say to me a genuine conspiracy, which say for example would mean all of the referees meeting up in a hotel 2 weeks before the season started and deciding to screw Liverpool over. No, I don't believe it goes that far. It's always stupidity is almost always the answer above conspiracy. Stupidity and incompetence. But without a doubt, there is things that you look at, and there is things that we see with our own eyes that you have to. They make you stop. They make you think, and sometimes there is no other answer than there must be conscious or unconscious bias here. Again, I said it on Savage's show earlier on. I think K-Mac is completely wrong to say that any professional footballer or player will intentionally try and injure another player. Like, he's making this idea that players are going out to injure our players now, that they're going out to hurt them. They don't. They're professional athletes. They have respect for each other. Foul, yes. And what K-Mac is basically alluding to there is that if you see one hard foul, going in and leaving a bit on him, if you see that being given, then the next guy is thinking, okay. But that's just cumulative stuff that happens in a game. I don't think it's the ref saying to the Bournemouth players in the tunnel before the game, oh, you can go out there and try and break his leg. Don't worry, I won't give you a red card. I mean, this isn't the X-Files, okay? But yeah, there are things that are going against us. And when you see that Diaz tackle, and yeah, I'm glad someone cleared it up for me, because I was told that the ref didn't call it on the pitch. So because the ref didn't call it on the pitch, VAR can't intervene and say this. And so it's one of those glitches in the VAR matrix where they can't say, hang on a minute, you need to stop. But you've been saying they were told. So I don't understand how you can see that now. And again, second point, in no way do I think that kid meant to do it. That was just the way that the tackle, the way his body went and the way his body, but he crunched into him. But it wasn't an intentional attack. He didn't mean to try and hurt him. It's just the way his foot went. But yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing someone was saying earlier on. If he had, look, God forbid, you don't want to say it, but had injured him badly, then, and he stretchered off, the kid's getting sent off. Because the ref will look at what's happened afterwards and go, okay, yeah, you're getting sent off now because I kind of have to. But because nothing happened and he gets up, like we've seen the picture, his leg bends. I'm not a doctor, but I reckon if he's 2 or 3 inches higher, that breaks his leg, because it's lower enough down the ankle where there's more strength there. it's thicker. If a little bit higher up the leg, I think that could have been seriously. But he never went meant to do it. I've seen Jared getting sent off for one like that, where he puts his foot on the ball, his foot bounces up off the ball and takes a guy out clean in the shin, and his leg bended as well.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, he did, and he got sent off. You know, so it's just, if he looks at it, we all look at it and go, there was one like that in the World Cup, and the guy looked at it, and as soon as he saw his leg bending, he was sent off. So
Brian,
it is.
I have to actually 1 second, K-Mark. I mean, 12 man. There's a big difference here. Brian, in the book of the book of law, do they have cause for intent?
Yeah, just the thing. As far as I know, intent is irrelevant. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So that means we only go by what happened, right?
Oh yeah, the fact that he meant it is irrelevant, or didn't mean.
We don't know whether he meant. No, we don't know whatever he meant or not.
Even go further. There's a part where, look, even though you might, quote unquote, as you're saying, did not mean to do it. Okay, that's all well and good, but you have to have control of your.
It's a yellow. It's a red. It's a yellow. It's a red. I'm just saying, in terms of the kid himself, I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
No, but that's the problem.
It wasn't a violent one. It just, he should have been involved. But I don't want anyone to say, "Oh, he tried to break his leg," because he did.
The thing is, though, he didn't bring. If you're going, he didn't try to break his leg. I'm not saying he went out and said, "I'm going to go out there and break that guy's leg." But
no, I don't think you are. I'm just saying a couple of other people don't need to get that mixed up. I think it happened by accident.
No. What I am saying is that you can go out there and play reckless enough that you can put people into danger. So therefore, like, yes, I get you said there are professionals. I get that. I'm not saying that they're not professionals because they've made this level. But the thing about it is, as a professional, you then have to continue to say, okay, I've got to play in with control. I have to play where I'm just not recklessly going out there and doing, stud high challenges or
no
players. If that's the case, you can still be a professional and play reckless, and you have to take accountability for playing reckless. That's not acceptable. And that's why so often when I hear people say, "Oh, well, he's not trying to injure him," I get that. I understand that. But what I am saying is you still have to play, you still have to be accountable for your actions. And if you're going to play reckless, guess what? You should get cards or you should be taken off the pitch.
No, I fully agree with everything you said. Fully agree with it. But I was just saying, just like to just take it off, I don't think he meant to do it. As in, it wasn't, there's his leg, I'm going to try and break it. Everything you said is correct. Yeah, fully. Like, it doesn't matter if you meant it, if you're not.
What was the guy who
if you're not in control, it's the yellow, it's a red, it's whatever it is, if you put it in danger. But I'm just saying, it's the intent. I don't think he looked and went, "Oh, there's a there."
Yeah, so the game,
that's like the real.
But it doesn't matter. It's a
Real Madrid player. He's playing back in Brazil now. I can't believe I'm going blank on his name because he's an absolute legend for Real Madrid. But got curly hair. Plays for
Marcelo.
Yes. Okay. In that match where he had their Champions League for South American Champions League, he broke the guy's leg in half practically. Okay. Like it was sad and scary to see. Do I think that he went out there and tried to do that? Absolutely not. But do I think that was reckless?
No, I'm not trying to excuse him. Don't get me wrong.
I know, Brian. I'm just saying what I think that's why I'm so intimate about. If you play reckless, there has to be some measure of accountability. And if you're going to play reckless, there has to be a little bit of a more mindful eye on players that do play more out of the box recklessly.
I think we're all agreed it's a red card.
The fact that Kluivert didn't even go over to make sure that Diaz was okay. The fact that he didn't apologize, bun that guy, dude. Bun that guy.
But this is the thing, Brian. This is the part where yes, conspiracy is very hard to prove, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The word conspiracy was specially created by a certain 3 initial people that I can't mention here because they will start looking at me. To basically make people look like stupid when they come up with this situation. Like Uncle Albert said earlier, Van Basten's leg got broken because they purposely targeted him to break his leg. Former City Dutch player Also, the same thing he did with Ben Arfa, broke his leg. That guy's foot almost got amputated. Roy Keane, the so-called leader of men, in his book, he said, "Yes, I went there and I purposely broke what I think was it."
Yeah, you of course. Look, you'll always get individual.
Yeah, so that's the part where when I understand. But this is the part where when people are listening to what you're saying, which I'm not saying you're wrong, people could also say, "Hey, but Brian, we have in history player A, player B, player C, these scenarios, this that have shown otherwise from what you
hey man, back in the 80s, he's talking about Viekovod. He's talking about back in the 80s, Viekovod, and like that's back in the 80s. I'm just saying,
right? But it still happens today. They target people.
You'll always look. Hey, there's never a 100%. This is what happened. You'll always get some random guy that goes out there, but it's. Like I don't think it's prevalent among mid players.
Yes, and I agree with that. But the thing is,
but you'll always you'll get a mad one like Keane, and there was some serious business there. And what was the other one you mentioned? The Ben Arfa one. Like,
Ben Arfa,
yeah. If you can name the few, exceptions and all of that, which is, but again, those kind of head cases and those kind of tactics, like he's talking about Viekovod, his book, and Van Basten. Man, look what they used to do to Diego Maradona. They literally
they purposely tried to break his leg. That's what
I honestly still to this day think Sergio Ramos intentionally tried to injure Salah. The way
he did that on purpose. He absolutely did that on purpose.
Pulling his arm, doing what he did. I definitely think that Sergio Ramos intentionally did.
No, 100%.
Every idea what he was doing.
100% he knew what he did, because people have pointed out that he does judo and he does stuff like that, and he knew exactly that would pop the guy's shoulder if he did it right. And he took advantage of the situation. And a lot of players used to do it. If a player was going down, give him an extra push or whatever. But he had a chance, and he saw it, and he made sure he put extra on him, and he knew exactly what he was doing when he did that with Salah. There's no doubt about it. Anybody that says no, watch the replay, look at his history, and like I say, the guy is like a really good level at martial arts and judo. He does all that stuff. He knew exactly what he was doing by grabbing his arm like that. 100%, man. There ain't no conspiracy there. No chance. And it's Ramos. That's all you need to know.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but but the part where I'm saying, when there's the pardon, it's not conspiracy. Liverpool fans, yes, any football team, even the Arsenal fan, they whine all the time. They think the whole league is against them, right? Every time they lose or draw, it's the ref's fault. Every little touch, is a penalty, right? But certain situations, when it becomes, this is becoming obvious, where the PGMOL are coming out to say, we apologize because we messed up. Is this still conspiracy? I don't know whether you guys are in a room talking about it, say this is what we're going to purposely do, but it's kind of manifesting somehow, some way, whether all of you guys have the same, mental whatever, where me and 12 men and Brian, we sitting there talking about, we're going to mess up Uncle Albert when we see him. We might not say it, but somehow, some way we see Uncle Albert and it is on site. You see what I mean? So it's something is making this thing keep going on, where like even football, if the ref allow bad tackles to keep going on, guess what? It's going to go on, right? Whether it's each side, it doesn't matter which side it is. If you want the game to be physical, you let certain calls go. And then the game all of a sudden become physical because everybody's doing tit for tat. Yeah. So if the refs are not VAR, that's what I said. It's not Carabao Cup where we can go back. This is EPL with a VAR. You can go back. They have shown that they go back. Sometimes they will let the game go on for minutes and go back. Even if it's not told to us, that's why they said the lines are drawn, even though it's not showed on TV. Even if they don't tell us what's going on, they still talking it back. And if they come to a conclusion, they will tell the ref, go back. Hence the reason why when Liverpool and Spurs happened, they were telling the other men will say, hey, tell him to go back and make sure that this is the right call. They are told to do that. A lot of them choose not to do because they were like, oh, we don't want our friend to look bad. Oh, let's just keep going. This is a waste of time. We know what we're doing. You don't. And eventually, guess what? AI is going to take over. The thing is, these referees, they didn't want VAR. But now what VAR has done is show that these guys don't know how to referee. When AI comes along, people are going to say, well, we don't want AI, we want referee. But these referees are making the reason why we should bring all these technology into the game. People are spending billions, and you are screwing their money up. Brian, if you have $1 billion and you told me, Archie, go do this job and I mess it up, I'll guarantee you fire me the next day.
Yeah, look, the standard is shocking, man. Nobody is out there saying anything other than the standard is shocking. Yeah. Like, we see things every week. I hear a lot of we should get the best refs from Europe, yada yada. I don't know if those guys over there are any better. But then also it's like, okay, so they're physically, they're not they're people. You have to get them to come to England. Okay, so get all the best refs. Okay, maybe they want to move and live in England and get abused for being a ref. I don't know. It's not an easy job. It's not a particularly attractive.
That's the reason why we give you VAR. This is the one they can't use excuse anymore. There's no more excuses, Brian.
I think what they've done is they've fallen into a trap at the moment where they're kind of trying to cover each other with VAR, but they're not using it right. And again, it's never the technology is just videos and replays and lines. It's just the people that are operating it. And if you don't have good people, like, I don't get it, like, because this is the pool. People are saying, oh, you need a load of new refs and new people to do VAR. They would have to be qualified referees. All of the qualified referees work in this job now in England. These are literally the only guys qualified to do this. And this is the standard. So you have to figure out, go back into the base and see where is this incompetence coming from? Because some of the stuff you see, if you watch Wolves, Bournemouth, Brighton, some of the things you see, you're just sitting there going, what the hell? Like, what was the point of even having a video for this stuff? And they just let it go all the time. It's just, it's a poor standard.
No, but the thing is, the referees need to stop have their ego trying to say we better than this. Carabao Cup, okay, you guys did pretty well during the Carabao Cup. There were some very good calls. Some of them, if VAR was there, it would have been overturned. But the thing is, the VAR is there for you to look good, but you are fighting it, which is nonsense. But 12 man, can you answer Dustin's comment here?
Yeah,
sorry.
Question
before they say that, sorry, I'll just say one thing. Ozzy, one of my mates, a really good mate, he's a Leicester City fan. And I asked him, best thing about the championship, no VAR. It's the best thing. It's just brilliant. So there you go.
I don't have an issue. Let me say this first of all. I don't have an issue with VAR. I have an issue with the people running VAR. I have, as in the concept. Look, the sad thing about it is, a lot of these calls, a lot of the things that are getting questioned and everything else. It's one thing that, yes, VAR is saying, what they're saying, and still making sometimes bad decisions, or dropping the ball like they did in Spurs match. That's one thing. But the sheer fact is that a lot of these calls would not even be made if we didn't have VAR at all. Like, we wouldn't getting them at least relatively right, where you can at least say, hey, this has to be this way or that way, because of the replay. But it goes to what this question is here. It says, question 12, how bad is the Premier League refereeing compared to NBA? And in my opinion, NBA one has issues in itself from its history with referees,
the FBI chasing them.
Yeah, and the betting allegation, or not allegations, convictions. But like, you get even further that the reason why a lot of times the NBA people don't like the NBA is because certain players, star players, tend to get calls. It's just that simple. If you're a rookie, you're not probably getting a call that like a LeBron James gets, or or Kobe Bryant would have gotten in the past. So that's just not the case. But here it's like, we're not seeing Mo Salah get calls. We're not seeing. It's not like these players aren't like world level, world class style, big superstars, we're not seeing a lot of these players get the rightful calls, because it's almost like the NFL sometimes. There's probably 12.5 calls that you could make during the game, but they don't, because they want the flow of the game to kind of establish itself. So if a referee is going to try to set the pace and the tone of a game, I have no problem with that. But then call evenly. Make sure that the calls are evenly distributed. If they're not, then that's when, I'm not going to say the conspiracy thing, but that's when you're getting into a bad area of just credibility.
I mean, I agree. The thing is, my thing is, at what point it's not conspiracy anymore. But let's move on from this rest, because they will frustrate me. We got
we can talk for refs for hours.
We go for it. So let's there's some questions that
we got a 4-0 win today. We have a 4-0 win despite
there's some questions that people left out there, and realism, Jared, and I love Liverpool, and Jane have put on some serious questions, especially on realism, and I love Liverpool. Number one, controversial. Is it crazy to say that the team looks much more solid and balanced without Trent and Salah?
No.
Yes, it's crazy. Next.
Question. Yeah. Safe to say now we play more fluid without Salah.
People have this viewpoint.
Hey, I didn't say it. These people is the one who, but I'm not going to say I fully agree, but we have to be honest. The team is more balanced. You can't.
I don't know if it's balanced.
I would debate anybody.
It's like there's the focal point. Let's be honest. The focal point always, our offense runs through
the right side.
And also not only run through the right side, it runs through Mo Salah. It's about getting Mo Salah touches. It's about getting him involved in the game. That's probably like the number one bullet point on the list of things that Liverpool looks to do. We can all agree on that. And when you get to that point and all of a sudden that player is no longer involved, then that doesn't necessarily correlate to like, okay, whoever's on the right side, we're going to continue to try to get them the same amount of touches. I think it then becomes, okay, let's distribute the ball to right side, central, left, wherever it's going to be. It's a little bit more evenly distributed, because you're not trying to not going to say force feed, but in the sense, you're not trying to pinpoint. That's at least my perspective.
Okay. Brian, go ahead.
No, of course. Look, it can look like a different team, and I've said this earlier on today. It was brilliant for the guys that were out there today that didn't have the main man in a lot of different positions. No Robertson at left back, no Trent at right back, no Salah up front. All of these guys, it wasn't a Europa League game, it wasn't an FA Cup game, it was a proper game with points on the line, and they went out there and they had to do it. And I've always said that would help them look, it's only natural when Salah is on the pitch that you see Salah, so you pass to Salah, or you give it to Trent, or you give it to Robbo. That's only natural, and Szoboszlai is out as well. So you had players who, look, you're going to have to be the ones today that take the final pass. You're going to be the ones that make the difference, because there's no Mo there, there's no Trent there to take the free kicks. You're going to be taking corners, you're going to be on set pieces. You have to step up and fill those roles today, because he ain't going to be coming on. There's no Mo for the last half an hour. If we're not winning, it's all on you guys. So to be able to do that and then say we bring on the kids that we brought on, that was a massive win just for their ability to say to themselves, not that we don't need these guys, but it's like, look, we can go out and do it. We don't have to.
That's the word.
If they're not there.
That's the word. This is the thing, and this is what Uncle Albert also trying to stoke the fire. You know him. Maybe it's because Liverpool, sometimes we are over reliant on Salah too much and Trent. Do magic, abracadabra, right? At this point, remember when Salah Mane was gone, we still won. And that's two of our potent attackers. So I think it's just maybe the manager set up the tactics so that it's not relying on Salah and Trent. Maybe. I'm just saying maybe, because these guys have shown you that we will go to Emery and beat them. We will even give them the game to win. And if they don't, we're going to beat them. Right? We played semifinals. I mean, the thing is, this is the part where Liverpool fans, we also have to be feel disrespected when people say, oh, Salah, if Salah is not there, you're going to lose. If Virgil's not there, you're going to lose. Okay, Alisson is a whole different situation. But Kelleher do a very adequate job when he's called upon. He has 1 or 2 games where he's been here and there. But Liverpool fans, maybe we should say, the rest of the team, we demand a lot from you guys because Salah was playing against Manchester United, against Luton, against Brighton, and you guys came up with 1 point. Knowing that some of you guys could have done better. Maybe sometimes when you get the ball, don't look at Salah, look at somebody else. I mean, I'm just saying. And 12 man, stop hating on Adrian. He won us a trophy. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's time that the manager needs to tell these people.
I saw that.
The manager needs to tell people, stop relying on Salah too much. Let Salah just do Salah things when the time calls for it.
We've always needed someone. Look, he's not going to be here forever, and we've always known that the drop off from Salah was to a Doak or something like that. He's not going to be around forever, and he's not. I think he's maybe 2 years away from being gone. You know, so we're going to have to bring someone in eventually, and it's not going to be 8 years down the line. It's going to be 18 months down the line. So, like I've always said, the hardest thing in the world when you have a top quality player, and people talk about depth and talk about this and that, is to have a player who's good enough to play instead of Salah, but is happy to sit on the bench if Salah is fit for 30 games. You just can't find those guys because they'll just go and play for Madrid or Barcelona or whoever.
Right.
Like they're not going to sit on the bench because Salah never misses a game. So how do you get someone that can come in? But Pops was talking about earlier on players who are plug and play. And that's what we're going to need to find when it comes to the point where when Salah leaves, we're going to have to replace him with someone who's plug and play, not a 20-year-old or a kid, because it's going to be a big hole. Like I was talking.
But that's even the problem, Brian. And 12 men said this. I like this word, and I think this is where Klopp has done. Next man up. The path is open. If you don't take it, I'm gonna go spend 60 million. You know I can spend 100. I can spend 100. I can spend a Benji if I have to. But I'm leaving the path for you to open, because remember, Klopp, even when Klopp loved the kids, he never gave them so much opportunity like that. Now he's giving everybody an opportunity to stake your claim. And that's why the kids are playing so well right now, because all these kids that are playing, they were all in loan last season. They were playing some teams that I never heard of. So maybe the players also needs to be held accountable and say, stop sitting there. It's like Golden State Warriors. Oh, Steph Curry will start shooting threes and we'll be okay. It doesn't work like that. One day he's going to get stuck and the shots are not going to happen. So the comment that I love Liverpool and Real just said, I don't think is totally out of the possibility of realism.
I know Jared's not saying that. I know you're not saying we don't.
I say somebody just hack his account and just say that.
No. Like, it's just, where do you go? You can't ask a Doak to step in. It's like, so what I'm saying is, do we look at this?
No. You're right. But
in a Coutinho way, do we do a Coutinho thing and say, right, Mo's going to leave, we need to replace him? Do we sell him
to create a new?
But do we sell him to Saudi for 100 million, or do we let him walk on a free and try and replace him with no money? Because
look at this way, Ryan. Look at this way. When Coutinho left, we went for Fekir to replace Coutinho. And when we didn't get him, Klopp had to readjust the system and give the midfield hard-working midfielders with strong attacking front three, right? So yes, Salah, there's no another Salah, unless you're telling me you're going to go back Inter Milan to bring Messi to Liverpool. That's not going to happen. That means the manager has to recreate a whole new system with a new player to come in to take over. You see what I'm saying? If we go to the route where we go, let's make Doak the next Salah, we gonna put so much pressure on this kid?
No chance.
But I think the reason why I think some people are looking at this the wrong way is the reason why Bobby Firmino is one of my favorite players of all time, and just the sheer fact that I knew that his contract was coming up for renewal, and that he was going to in essence be able to leave on a free, and we were seeing this almost like repeating pattern with Liverpool allowing for players to leave on a free, and people were very upset about it. But I think that realistically, if a player's done the service that they've done for the team, I know, if they've been a faithful servant to the team, then there gets to a point where you allow for that player to have the ability to pick and choose their own destiny. Being so weighed into thinking, oh, well, what can we get for this player? Or we gotta get this money now. We gotta get this money now. I think sometimes, I know it's I know someone's probably gonna call it a romantic take, but I mean, it gets to the point where sometimes it's not a bad thing to allow for a player to choose their own destinies, to allow for them to say to themselves, yes, okay, I appreciate the fact that you're not trying to, pigeonhole me into going to this team, to one particular team that wants to make the deal. It's more so I'm going to go to the team that I, as a player, want to go to. And that in itself is a major, boss move by the player, but it's also a boss move, I believe, personally, for the for the administration to say, we're going to allow for you to do that. We appreciate the service, but
players can't do that by just not signing the contract. They can hold it. I'm not saying, we need to sell.
But then you get into a point where now Salah has to play the bad guy. Now Salah is in essence saying,
no.
I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. No, when it comes to not signing for another team, I get he has still say in where ultimately he can go on a lot of the transfer offers. But I just know from a player's perspective that's sometimes this new phenomenon is somewhat of a new phenomenon, at least, of a lot more players leaving on free deals is simply that. It's why Mbappe is, I believe, going to be able to leave on a free. It's not that he doesn't love Paris. It's not that he doesn't love PSG. He's given pretty much all he can to the city of Paris, the city of or to the team PSG. And it's a shame that the first thing that his owners are thinking of is how much money can we make off of him, or how can we keep him here, when that's obviously not the path that he wants to choose. So I'm trying to get across that sometimes you have to allow for a player to leave the way that gives them some type of power to choose where their next destination is.
Yeah, I fully understand that as well, but you'll also have many situations where players have done it, where they've signed contracts just so the club that's selling them will get a fee for them because they know they owe the club. So it works both ways as well. It is brilliant for any club to be able to say to a player, oh yeah, look, we're not going to tie you down to contract, but that player doesn't have to sign it. So Mo is in charge of his own future. That's like what you're saying. These guys now are much more in charge of their futures than they've ever been. Mbappe will sign a 2-year deal, or Mo will sign a 2-year extension. They always know. Basically, it was more of a kind of an off-the-cuff question. Was like, would we be better off in terms of trying to, if we know that Mo is leaving in, say, a season's time, would we be better off selling him for a fee, if we can get a fee for him, to try and replace him that way? Or do we trust ourselves to keep him, let him go on a free, let him do his own thing, like Buffman's saying, and no dramas, and then trust ourselves to replace him the other way? Or is that a situation we're in? Like I was just saying, the Coutinho thing, there was a big fee on the table for a player that wanted to leave. We knew was leaving it, and we used that to massively improve the squad. So it's if we know the guy is going, do we try and get a fee for him 12 months earlier, or do we let him go on a free? That's what I just think. 60-70 million quid in the bank, if he's going in a year's time anyway, it might help us. It's just because we don't have the kind of money to throw around to bring in, like Pops is talking about, that plug and play player. it's a fine line. That's the things like, do you keep a player? Do you sell him? Do you let him go? It's a fine line in how it works. Because look at Coutinho. It worked out brilliantly for us. Worked out terribly for Barcelona.
Well, it's still working brilliantly for us because when
it worked out really badly for them. So it's just how
Liverpool decide to do good things, look at us. We are the only top team that can go spend money if we want to.
But I think like Feldman is right. Right now, with these guys at the top, the ball is more than often than not in their court. The way they're not signed, like apart from all these crazy people going to Chelsea, signing 7-year deals. These guys they're not getting themselves locked into clubs. They know who has the power.
Right.
They know who's in charge of their own careers. And don't get it twisted. If Salah doesn't want to stay at Liverpool, I mean, look, this is what I always bring up. It doesn't get mentioned because people don't want to mention it. Steven Gerrard was about 6 hours away from leaving Liverpool. Okay, so players will do things when it's best for their careers. He was that close, man. He was that close.
Yeah. But before let's enough talking about Salah. He's not he's playing for Egypt right now. He's not a Liverpool player right now. But even though we want him to feel well so that either he goes back or stay. But there's our player that I'm gonna mention. And I think that people need to pay attention. Mr. Beck, Owen Beck, they called him. I'm not a sensationalist. Sometimes I am, but when I see something, this kid, I'm telling you, Robo, Simicast, if you are watching, please, when you come back, you better come back balling 175% because your position is starting to be looking very, 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 very not questionable, challengeable. Trent right now don't care if Bradley take his position. As well as he doesn't care if Gomez take his position because he's behind, wants to play in the middle. So he doesn't care. He's like, hey, Gomez, you go ahead. I'm going to take an extra week off. Mr. Bradley, you too, enjoy the game. But when it comes to the left side, Owen Beck is giving me the best of both worlds, meaning he plays like Simicas and Gomez combined. And what have we said about those two guys? One is very good going forward, and one is very solid and very, very passionate when he plays, right? And I'm looking at this kid, and I'm like, this kid has both. If he plays in this team, he continue to play in this team, like Bradley's getting chances to play, I'm just saying, anybody wants to challenge me, I'm just saying. And don't tell me it's only Bournemouth. Bournemouth is the #1 team in the informed squad right now over Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, all of them.
Yeah.
And he showed up and he didn't even look. Did you guys even miss Gomez on the left side?
We missed him on the left side.
Yeah, did you miss him on the left side when he went to the right?
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah, I got to thinking,
that's the wrestling way of putting it, for sure.
I'm just saying.
Look, I don't know if there's anyone that's more like upbeat and more proud, I guess you could say, with the performances we've seen from our youth academy. I think that it's a measure of not only the belief and commitment that they put in themselves, but I think it's also a measure of the trust that their teammates and the coach puts in them as well. And there's a lot of people out there that were, just last year, I remember especially, there were people out there that said our youth academy is trash. They were saying how our youth academy is like, doesn't have anything to offer, or our youth academy is light years behind the other participants in the top 6. And, it's more so, I think now we're recognizing the fact that there's more than just having just talent. It's about having a mentality, having the mindset to be able to, have the mindset to be able to contribute and not get overwhelmed with what is like in front of you. And sometimes you see that on different levels when you're dealing with a lot of other teams in the league, but yet there's a lot of such incredible unity amongst this team, I think, that really gives these youngsters confidence to go out there and just perform. Like, as in, it means something when you have a Mo Salah, for instance, standing next to a Harvey Elliott, who again is a young lad. I mean, like, let's not get it twisted. He's still like, what, 20 years old or something like that. It's around that age,
Yeah.
So how old is he, Brian?
I think he's 20. Yeah.
Is he 20? Right? Yeah. So like, but that interview alone, when he's saying, I've taken this player under my wing, and I understand how much talent and promise this player has, anything that I can like help his game with, then I'm devoted and committed to, because let's be honest, like sometimes you're just there's players out there that are just interested in themselves, but this team has a lot of individuals amongst it, some that are definitely individual class acts in itself, but they have a commitment to helping the progression of this team and this club's players go along, and they understand that their success is going to merit their own success. If they can help these young players, get into form, understand what it takes to be a complete professional. It's one of the measures of why I was so high on James Milner's presence in the locker room. That kind of presence. When you have that in your locker room, it makes a difference. And all of a sudden, these players step up and they end up fitting in and contributing. That's all I ever want to see for anyone, is just go out there and contribute.
Yeah, if you look at the Jota, after Jota, you remember he got that air shot, and then he buried the next one.
Yes.
If you look at it after that, him and Bradley is totally taking the piss out of him. He's there, two over there, and they're laughing. And Bradley is like, "You totally messed that up, man. You got lucky." And Jota's like, "I know, man. I know I messed up."
It bounced. The ball bounced.
Yeah, like, but it's like one of the young kids in the squad that's able to like totally like just say take the piss out of one of the older players, and you could see like it's like they're obviously like they look like maybe not best mates around, but they've got a really good rapport going on. They've got a really good like the senior player and a young kid going over. You saying basically you got lucky, man, and John's like, man, I messed up that first one, messed it up. So that shows you, there's a real like just it's not a big bridge from a player like him to like there's no deference, there's no like, oh, I can't stand. That's really good to see.
That's
like
what I'm talking about, Brian. You're right. Yeah.
Beck,
have the comfortability to say, you know what, like I understand we're not on the same level of like world class acceptance or whatever, but still
but
I can still have a conversation.
You messed up.
Like you're my teammate. Yeah,
it's football. We all know, man. You got lucky on that one. Like, but Quasi, like you're talking about Beck. When you see a player, you see a player. You know what I mean? Like I've been like that before. You're saying no, you're not being sensationalist, but like sometimes you just see a player in one game. You're like, well, hang on a minute now. Let's see. This guy has got. This isn't just. So yeah, we are not in a position. We don't have chumps. We don't have poor players that get rolled up to that edge, that get looked at, and people are talking about, look at our bench the last few games. Like I'm one of them saying, look at our bench the last couple of games. It shows you how close to the wire we are, because it's basically Gakpo and Gravenberch, and then a load of kids and Kwame, maybe. So, but then these guys, they're coming on, and I was saying you can set your watch by Klopp subs now. He has mastered the 5 subs game. He's using them all. He's basically, if anywhere between 60 and 62 minutes, there's 2 boys coming on. Because he knows there's going to be 6, 7, 8 minutes, maybe today it was like 10 minutes. So he's coming in and going, right, we can use 5 subs. And I think that's affecting his starting lineup. If you know what I'm saying. He's starting people because he knows he can bring someone else on. So it's basically he's playing like 2 games almost. He's playing the first bit and then the second bit. And he wanted the 5 subs, and he's using them. Pep Guardiola, he's in a similar situation to us. He's using them a bit more now, but earlier on in the season, he was going 90 minutes without making a substitution. Whereas Klopp would have 4 people on, no, people in, people out, keep trying to change it up. So he's to have basically like it's all about timing in life, all about timing in football. And if you get an opportunity as a young player to come on and show that you can do it, well, okay. Like there's only one way to prove that you can do it in a Premier League game. That's by playing in a Premier League game. So people need to be injured, people need to be out, and people like Beck, people like Bradley, they say, right, I've been given this opportunity to do this now, and they take it. So now the manager has to look at it and go, right, the only thing I didn't know about you was can you do it in the Premier League for 90 minutes in a game that means something? Bradley, I've just watched you do it. I know now you can do it. So yeah, that's the last thing to check off the list for these players. So it's your time, and you come in, you take your chance. We all know Trent's coming back in, but now Klopp can look at Bradley and go, well, look, I know you can do it. So this is what you get. This is what you get. You know, you just go in and you take your chance, and you see where, like I said, sorry, but just with Beck, obviously Robbo's going to come back and Trent's going to come back in, but now we have two guys where he's going, okay, cool, got two players there.
Brian, your boy Isaac is saying you're dropping some gold nuggets.
Isaac's a legend, man. Sorry you can't call it in.
Yeah, there you are. There is something I want. I know that we're probably coming close to the end of the podcast here, but there is something that I did want to make sure that I got in on the podcast, or at least involve the chat or got spoken into the universe, however you want to reference it. But that is not only for the man here, he's showing love to the people in the back. For everyone in the chat, Diego is definitely showing you love especially for those that were calling for him to no longer be a part of this club. He's saying he's got love for you still, it's your proper red. But I also know that there is another player out there that has gotten a lot of flack. I heard a lot of people saying how they wanted to, or not a lot, but I've heard some people. I know Brian doesn't like when I speak about things that are going on in the Twitterverse and on some of these broadcasts, but I will call some of them out, considering that I hear some people saying how they rather have Solanke than Nunez. Okay, in this game, that's straight. Like I'm not trying to make this up for drama. I'm straight up saying there are people.
No, I've seen that too. I have seen that too. But that's yeah.
There's
men in white coats have been called. Don't worry, you sit down on your bench there. I'll get some people with a van and take you back to the mental home.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. There's in all due respect, Solanke, I'm glad to see that he's blossomed. I only hope that he continues to get better. To be honest with you,
Well, look, you don't play for Liverpool and Chelsea. He played for Liverpool and Chelsea. And you don't do that without having something about
some type of talent. Yeah.
I mean,
completely. And I do hope he gets better, because if he ever does get sold and gets a move on to another team, we'll get a nice little piece of that pie to come back to our coffers. But I can't get enough to say I've heard people criticize this player. I get that he's a striker. I get that strikers are supposed to score goals. Apparently that's all they can ever do is score goals. This guy has now just become the first player the first player to get not first player, but this year at least in this campaign to have 20 GA. That really means and makes a difference.
There's
a major difference.
What's the name, Brian? Is talking about. He said last time you almost got kicked out of a show or something. I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm trying to stretch my memory back. Don't get.
I mean, we need to start bringing a lot of people to the court, because people have been talking about Nunez is this, Nunez is that, but his numbers are with some of these players people call world class. Saka, Manelli. I mean, we don't want to start trouble. We are happy that we win today. But quick question for everybody.
First league player to register at least 10 goals and 10 assists in all competitions.
In
all competitions.
Who is everybody's celebration, i.e., who's the man of the match?
I thought, you know what, I would give a shout for. I mean, it wasn't someone that wasn't scoring the goals. It wasn't someone that was like, involved in any assists or anything per se like that. But I'll tell you the truth. But one of the players that I noticed today, one of the players I think kept us in the game early and was playing really, really well. Shout out to Maka. I thought McAllister had a good game today. I thought McAllister played his butt off, really did well for a player that has been, much maligned about, whether he can play the 6, he's playing whether he's playing out of position or this and that. Is he ever going to be able to be that link, that glue for us in as that 6? I think Maka played really well today, and I thought that Maka was a real difference maker for us in that midfield.
Brian?
I'm just thinking about it there. There's probably 3 that I could give because the best Liverpool performances are always where you can't pick a man of the match. That's for me is a trait of the archetypal Klopp team, where it's like we could beat Man United 4-0 and you could sit there going, well, hang on, I could pick 6 people for man of the match. I could pick 7 people. We used to do that all the time. And I like those kind of performances. So today, I think it was kind of like that as well. Like I could give it to Canate, I could give it to McAllister, I could give it to Darwin, I could give it to Jota. So I just think with the little bit extra, just by a touch, I'm going to give it to Jota because he got the 2 and he got the.
Are you saying that because your boy Isaac said Jota?
Did Isaac go? No, I was going with Jota.
He's saying it because he's here. He's saying it
because the name is behind him.
Yeah, he's saying it
no, I just think he just
building.
Like there was 4 of them that were basically 9 out of 10, and I just think because I'm giving it to him because he got 2 goals and the assist. But I could have given it to 3 people. Canate was unbelievable.
I don't know why people are forgetting how well Canate played today.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
Played massive.
Yeah.
McAllister was I'm sorry, Brian. I was going to say again, another example of the referee playing poorly, because I mean we almost saw possibly Canate, go off
broken his
injury. And again, that was pathetic. But I'm sorry, Brian.
No, just like you were saying, McAllister, excellent. Canate, brilliant. Jota and Darwin both had fun. Like I've spoken about it before, we tend to do that once or twice in a game, and I'd love to just see us do it maybe 5 times in a game. Jones gets a chest down, but bang, 1 touch, pass to Jota. Jota, 1 touch, pass to Darwin, 1 touch, finish. Quick, intricate little passing. We don't do that often enough, and we have the players to do it. You can't stop that. You cannot stop that.
Yeah.
When you play 1, 2, 3, shot, goal, you can't stop that. Like it's when a guy tries to beat 3 people on the edge of the box and then pass and yada yada. No, when you just move the ball quickly and decisively like that, and we do it. I'm telling you, man, it's a bugbear of mine because we do it maybe once or twice in every game, and then we just stop doing it for some reason. And that's all it takes. That's what City do. That's what Bayern do. That's what Bayern before, which is 1, 2 quick. And Darwin, like the pass from Jones told Jota what to do. The pass from Jota told Darwin what to do. No thinking, nothing. That's just 5-a-side football. Bang, 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 go. And we can do it. More of that. That's how you break down these low block guys. They can't deal with 1-touch football. And Darwin showed there. No time to think, no other decision to make. It's going in the bottom corner because that's what the pass says. The pass says, put me in the bottom corner. That's all we have to do. Do it 3 or 4 times a game. But look, again, one thing I want to say, if there is a conspiracy against, and I'm only joking here, right? If there is a conspiracy against us, it isn't working very well because we're top of the league.
Yeah, top of the league. You're right.
We're going to have to do it the hard way.
You know what?
And we're winning 4-0. But
quick notice.
I know Brian gets a different. Brian gets to watch it on a different platform than us in America. But I don't know if you could hear it or not. But apparently at Bournemouth they were singing "You're Just a SHIT."
Oh yeah,
they do it. Andy Carroll, they say he just until he scored 2 goals, and then they got loud and said, "Please score a 3rd goal." So they
I know.
Go ahead. That's fine. That makes him play better.
Kill him with kindness. That's what.
You could hear it. You could hear it from the start, but you could also hear it after he'd scored 2 goals. So in fairness to the Bournemouth fans, I think they were doing it kind of taking the piss out of themselves. But you could hear it clearly from the start.
Quick notice, Jen said
that's funny. It was funny. I just want to make sure. I didn't know if they picked it up on your side or not. That's why.
Jim is saying that he hearing that Jones is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Nobody knows. I don't want to put that into the universe. Everybody's always just trying to sensationalizing things. Take your time till the medical officers comes up.
Yeah. He did.
Like I said, they've been told. I believe that Klopp has been seriously warned. When these players are tired, take them out. That's why Salah did. Salah, when he felt something, he sat down and said, "I'm done." Right? Yeah. Gravenberch, same thing. He went as soon as he went down. Szoboszlai. So I'm hoping if it's a pull, it's 2 weeks. He's back. Unless it's a tear, then it's a 4 to 6 weeks. If it's just a pull or a strain, he's back within sometimes even less than that. So
did you see him holding it though, Quasi? Did you see him when he was sitting down and someone walked over and he was
all of them. I mean, Salah did the same thing. Salah was holding it.
He went straight down the pitch, or he went straight down the tunnel.
He wasn't limping. That's what to me is a good sign. If he was limping, then I'll be worried.
Szoboszlai that's what I would be worried. Yeah, same here.
Szoboszlai was limping. Gravenberch didn't limp. Salah didn't limp. So that's where my positivity is looking at. But let's just hope and pray that it's not 4 to 6 weeks. But I think Szoboszlai is coming back. Thiago is coming back. Isaac is out here causing trouble. Uncle Albert, I agree with you. Saliba is legit. Konate is getting there. Astro, hey, Isaac, tell us when they both go to France, who do they pick first? Did Saliba play the World Cup? Huh? You got Upa Maguire plays ahead of Saliba.
Upa Maguire, oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Maguire.
But, I mean, if you say, Archie, will you take Saliba? You're damn right. With the quickness. But don't compare it to my Ibu. Ibu is a monster.
I've gotten ridiculed for saying that, man. I got ridiculed for saying that.
For saying what?
For saying that I said on current form, I'm not saying Saliba isn't a talent. I'm not saying I wouldn't take Saliba on this team, but I am saying that on form, I think that Konate is on better form than Saliba is currently. And Saliba is on excellent form. I just think Konate is just on that better of form.
On that level right now. They both, I mean, right now, France, if France is to pick 2 center backs, they got 3. And them 3, and Saliba, Konate, and I forgot his name. And it's not Upa Maguire. They got 3 center backs that could start right away.
Kimpembe, they have Kunde. They have Upamecano, they have Kanai, they have Saliba.
Yeah, they have some serious monsters.
They're massive talent. They're massive talent at centre.
And like Isaac is saying, Saliba just had a breakout year last year, but he's continued the same form, which tells you that, if he does it again next season, then you can, as much as we will hate, he's a talent. But he Uncle Albert changed his words real quick. Yeah, we were coming after you, Uncle Albert. But yeah, general folks, in terms of other teams, Arsenal beat the living daylight out of Crystal Palace. I don't know what Crystal Palace. At this point, I'm glad that I'm starting to see some signs. At the Emirates, they put signs against the chairman. I think the chairman has been taking advantage of the fans for a long time. You can't tell me you keep bringing Uncle Roy every single time things go bad. He's so scared to get relegated.
Yeah,
he's so scared to get relegated that he doesn't want to build something. Now he's talking about, we're gonna go. No. You've been in the league for a long time. They need better. As Crystal Palace at this point, you were a London team and you are struggling. Always just make it to the middle team and then they find. They got talent. There's 3 players in there. I would take them right now to Liverpool. You know, so Arsenal did what Arsenal did. You know, Martinelli scored 2 goals. What's his name? The Belgian player from Brighton scored a goal. Finally, it didn't come from him. It didn't come from Saka's side. So Arsenal is, you know, 5 goals, which is good for their goal differentials. We know City did what City did for against.
What does that say though? Real quick, I'm sorry. I just wanted to point out. What does that say? That the headlines I see are Arsenal's back against the Crystal Palace. I get it. They you know, Crystal Palace 5-0, great score, all well and good. But yet we just faced today the most informed team in the Premier League at their grounds and put 4 up on them. So if that's the case, I better see some high praise.
You know that one, then you know, you better be hope and pray that you receive it, because you're not going to receive it.
I know. I know.
We're not back because we never went away.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. Where did we go? City did what City does. Still, I think what's the name? Haaland is still injured. I think that injury is holding him for a long time. But I would like to speak a little bit between Arsenal, the 2 games that we have coming up, Chelsea, Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
We always look after, and I think we have a game before that, but that's a Carabao semifinal. Yeah. We have Fulham, right? But I'm talking about EPL, which is the most important match. Next is Chelsea. But look, I want to look a little bit further between Chelsea and Arsenal here. And earlier, Uncle Albert was like, if we beat Chelsea and Arsenal, we are definitely, the league is right there. And I agree with that sentiment, because Chelsea, we have to beat Chelsea. We can't draw or lose any type of form against Chelsea. I'm tired of drawing with these people. The Arsenal game is extremely important, because if you beat Arsenal, then you have taken one of the competitors out. I believe that if we beat Arsenal at the Emirates, they're done. They can catch up, because then they have to deal with Aston Villa. You see what I mean? And I'm not taking Aston Villa or Tottenham out of the race. I'm just saying right now, for Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, if we get 6 points out of these 2 games, which we need 6 points because City has so much favorable matches coming up, I think if we win 6, I will be bumping my chest and say, I'm very close to guaranteeing that we win in this league. What do you say?
To me, is that to me or?
Oh, anyway, I can take it.
Yeah, Brian, you go first.
Yeah, well, that's Arsenal is the game. Arsenal away. I mean, we got City at home. Like Albert called it there. Like we were talking the other day. Like, what's the most important 3 games? Me and 12 home were on a stream, and I was kind of just being contrary, but I said the next 3 games are the most important. But yeah, like Albert is saying there, if we beat Chelsea, we beat Arsenal, and we just kind of assume we take care of business to a degree in the other games, and then it's the fact that we have City at home is again a game we could obviously lose that game, but the fact that we have that, if we do beat Chelsea and Arsenal, again Arsenal away, I think we'll easily beat Chelsea at home. I don't think that game is even a problem. I think it's the Arsenal game that's the problem, and there will be so there's 18 games left. There will be some random draw somewhere. There'll be some just weird result somewhere, and we have to be able to take that on the chin and move on. I think Spurs, Villa, I think they'll drop off a little bit unless Spurs do something in transfer market again. And Villa maybe do something. They're turning down offers for their strikers. They need backup for Watkins. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's us or City, but Arsenal are sitting there. So yeah, to beat Chelsea and Arsenal, I think we will win that game. We should win that game. We are light years ahead of them in terms of development. where our squad is, how we play. And yeah, we had a tough time when we went there. First game of the season? Yeah, okay, we got caught a bit cold and we got our clocks cleaned, as they say in America. You know what I mean? It didn't really work out. But I always said after that game, you play that game 5 times, we're winning it 4 times. They were nowhere near us. And they're still, I think they've probably gotten worse. They've definitely gotten worse. And we've gotten better. So that isn't even, like, I'd be looking at that in the same vein as, like, oh, we've got, I don't know, proper mid-table. We've got Everton at Anfield. We've got Villa. I don't know. It's not. So it's that Arsenal game. If we can win that, that will be a massive 3 points. And of course, I think, yeah, without wanting to boil it down, if we go toe to toe with City, we have a small lead at the moment. It could almost come down to us beating them at Anfield. I don't want it to be that, but it could almost be that. So yeah, those 3 games. I think it is almost, yeah, that's the league, as it were, if we do what we should do in the other game.
Tom,
so we have 18 games. I've asked this question. I know I asked
17.
Brian this question. What's that?
17.
Oh, after today,
17,
sorry.
no,
Yeah,
17,
after today.
yes, 17. You're correct.
14 more wins, then I'm happy.
Right. So I've asked this question quite a bit. You know, it's open to the chat too to give their response if they haven't already given it to me. But I've asked the question of, well, how many games do we have to win for you to feel comfortable that we can win this league? I don't know if it's necessary, if that means it's going to go down to the wire, or if it means that we're going to, you know, put a little space and win relatively comfortable. Not necessarily like, oh, you know, the league's over like we won before. But the number that I've been coming across a lot has been 15 games. 15 wins is the number that we need to make. You know, it also means. Oh, go ahead, bro. What you say, Brian?
Oh no, sorry. I can answer it real quick because I said if we beat City, I think we have 4 points to play with. If that makes sense.
Right. Exactly. That's where I was about to get.
We can win one. We can win one and lose one if we beat them.
That's where I was about to get.
Yeah, bearing in mind what do we have at the moment? 2 point lead.
Yeah.
So if we have 2 point lead,
or 2 point, 5 point with 1 game in hand.
And they're playing Burnley, so I'll give them 3 points. So yeah.
12, when you are answering your question, I apologize, Brian. Put this what Uncle Albert is also saying.
This great if we beat Chelsea and Arsenal.
You know what I mean?
If we draw them, it's a wash. I mean, I do agree with Uncle Albert that Chelsea and Arsenal are 2 of our more, you know, anticipated matches on the season that's left. But let's not get it twisted. You know, we still have to go to Villa. We still have we still have Wolves at the end of the season.
No, I think you missed what he's trying to say.
But I know, I get it. That we.
No, I was going to say, based on what you were saying, right? Because if we beat those 2 teams, we draw with City. If City wins everything and we keep doing what we're doing, we still 5 to 2 points ahead of them.
If we beat City, you said. Or
if we do what we do, like if we beat Arsenal and Chelsea, and then draw with them, we still ahead of them. So it won't matter what they do; they will have to hold somebody.
Yeah, as long as we don't lose any points, we can still win by drawing because it's a wash. You know, if you draw with the team that's chasing you, then neither of you make ground. You know, but I'm agreeance in from what Brian was saying, and that was the point I was about to get at, is that for me, you know, the biggest matchup for me would be still the Arsenal matchup is huge because they're looking for revenge, but the City game is possibly the most important game on our list because that's the one team I do see that can give us frustrations on trying to win this league, and if we can put anytime you can put 3 point cushion on the team that's chasing you, it's always a positive. Right. So, you know, if we can put 3 points of a cushion in that Anfield matchup, and it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be one that they have probably circled on their calendar as well. But if we can do that, it changes the whole complexity of this race, in my opinion. But I think that, like I will say again, we still have some very difficult matches left on our list, and I think that Villa is right now, despite the fact that we do have a great record at Anfield, Villa is the best team at home this year. That's just plain and simple. So knowing that we have to go to Villa means something. Knowing that we still have we have to go to Arsenal means something. So these away matches are important, but I just think that City is the most important match that we have on our line, because it could be a match that we can regain points. If we end up getting a draw here or there or something like that, it's that point. That's where we have to really focus on.
I think for me, it's just Liverpool. You take care of business, and everything will be okay. That's why last time when you asked, I said 15, now 14, because after that, there's 14. You got 3 games left. At that point, if you drop points, those 3 games left, you drop points, then you should be called the Bottles and whatever names are after that. But the reason why I said win all those, because it's called momentum. It could demoralize the other team that is chasing you. You see what I mean? Because every time you win and they win and you keep winning, they're going to be like, gosh, same thing that we were feeling when CD kept winning and we kept winning, and they won't drop points and we drop points. And you know what I mean? So that's why I said that, because if we win 15 games, I promise you the rest 3 games, those players don't want to lose. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, like somebody said, too much assumptions, and we know what definition of assumptions are, the mother of all, So all we need is Liverpool to be able to take care of business. And gents, thank you so very much for joining me today. Brian, thank you for coming in after K-Mac left, and 12 men, thank you so very much. I appreciate you joining again. And Kismet, I don't have your contact info, so that's why I kept saying send me a message so I could send you the link. You never did. Uncle Albert, thank you for coming through the chat. Red for Life. I love Liverpool. Isaac, G, Realism, Kismet. Oh man, so many people. I don't if I forget somebody, I really, really apologize. You guys made this chat today fun. We appreciate you guys. Liverpool, top of the league. We got Chelsea. We got Fulham next. So don't forget that. We should not underestimate any team. But hopefully Curtis Jones is not injured for a long time. We hope that just fatigue. Yeah, I know somebody said they just came back from vacation, and then the guy was running today. He was working his socks off. So it happens. Sometimes a little bit too much vacation can cause that. But gents, we thank you so much, Brian. Thank you, 12 man.
No problem,
you guys have anything that what's Isaac say? Hope Trent, Salah, and everyone are back for that Arsenal game. See you soon. Oh, we coming.
Nice.
It's going to be a little bit more people than just Salah and my boys, the Blue Sharks, aka Cape Verde, is going to beat Egypt. Sorry, the Pharaohs. And then Salah is just going to stay home and get better. And yes, he's coming. Thiago's coming. Bechetek is coming. So Bossala is, bro. You guys don't know. You don't know what's coming. Yes, fingers crossed that we beat you guys. Uncle Albert, thank you so very well. Yes, the momentum, that's what we need. Relentless. This guy is in Ivory Coast. Unbelievable.
World traveler.
Albert,
world traveler.
Hey, go find the Ghanaian guy who said, I have a headache for my head after Ghana lost to Cape Verde. I need you to take a picture with it, because that guy, oh my God, his soul was hurt.
Next settings. These are the next settings for us.
Yes.
Those are two. I agree. Like, as in with the league, it is what it is. But like Fulham and Norwich, we still got work on the table.
It's gonna be tough.
Exactly.
It's gonna be tough. Brian, and you guys have anything coming up for the people to know?
Well, we just did a great episode yesterday and even the day before that too, where we did a fun little like sporting director style, like, you know, fantasy draft type thing, or I don't even know what you would call it, but it's just a matter of just a lot of fun.
You got the players that I said I won, right?
Yeah. We're gonna see how these teams end up battling it out on the pitch when we have them face off in the in the computer settings, at least. But yeah, we have I have a match review tomorrow that I'll be doing, and also I'm going to be participating with Hugo Online to do The Kitchen. We're going to review The Kitchen, the movie that's on Netflix right now, which is a cool little movie. And then but other than that, you know, it's the same settings. It's on to the next one, you know what I mean? On to the next one. Yeah. So right now we have Fulham in our targets, and then we have to finish that business, move on to our final, and then we have obviously Norwich that we have to focus in on moving into the next round of the FA Cup, and then it's back to the Premier League Premier League focus, and it's on to that. So thanks for having me on, Ozzy, as always.
Brian, are you and Isaac about to have a show or what?
Yeah, man, you invite us both on and we'll get together and we'll do some stuff.
He keeps hiding.
Yeah, I know, but he's
when Arsenal was on top, he was here, you know. But
I thought you had an Arsenal guy.
That's Isaac right there. But ever since Arsenal just got a little tumbles, you know, a little stumble.
It's funny that, isn't it? It is funny that. But hey, look, I'll be on someone's show eventually in the next couple of days, talking you know what about you know what. So, but yeah, if you do get a chance to follow up on the stuff that we did with 12 Man, it was a fantasy.
No, I watched it. I couldn't. I was supposed to be on the show, but I couldn't make it, so I watched it later. And I put my.
It's all good. It's all. We know you're hiding, Quasi. We know you're hiding.
I put my two players in the comment.
He didn't want that smoke. He didn't want to deal. Brian was making good picks. He was already plotting out things. He had Chris Angel on there, like figuring out what formation he was going to do before he had a plan within a plan. Yeah, it was serious. JK making this is act. Even the chat was putting it down. You know, hey, Quasi didn't want that smoke.
We're starting something.
Well, Isaac said he's in the comment. All right, next time I'm going to set up a show, and you and Brian have to pop up. And hopefully 12 Man and Uncle Albert will also join, and anybody else who wants to join in. And
well, we are playing Arsenal soon, so
yeah, we play them soon, so we have to set it up. We will have to set it up. So Isaac, get ready.
Arsenal fans on pins and needles, hoping that we don't sweep them this year.
Yeah.
Pins and needles.
I see Igal already posted his like, watch Salah be there on February 4th against Arsenal. Oh, he's coming. But yeah, people, my people,
I got you, Isaac.
Love it. We love for the love, man. We thank you so much. Please keep the likes up, subs up. You know, me and my 21 kids, man. It's been raining and it's cold up in California. We need some heat. So please get the subs up so I can make some money and, you know, get him in there. Shout out to LFC 10, who is a new subscription. You know, thank you subscriber. Thank you so much for showing us the love. He came through and he was in the comments too. So everybody, thank you so much. Quincy Bold, Liverpool, and 12 Man, and K-Mac. Peace.